Let's kick off part 5 with the first and only Fire Steel type Pokemon, Heatran. Heatran is an awesome Pokemon with so much fire power that it can reach temperatures as hot as lava, which is a plus because it can learn Lava Plume. Not to mention that this is the only Pokemon that can learn the move Magma Storm. Think of it as a more powerful version of Fire Spin. Its greatest stat is Special Attack, which can reach a maximum of 394. Plus, it has the most quad resistance out of all the Pokemon, the total being 5. Good lord, that is awesome! While it does hold a major weakness to ground, Heatran remains as an awesome fire and steel type, especially at the same time. If there is one thing that I love so much about Pokemon, is that a lot of them have a unique type. Wishcache is one of my personal favorites for that very reason. Wishcache is a gigantic catfish that's very balanced and has a great move pool. Its greatest stat is HP, which can reach a maximum of 424. Not the highest, but still not too shabby for me. As I mentioned before, Wishcache is a gigantic catfish. This thing is based around the Namazu, a catfish that is spoken in Japanese mythology that causes earthquakes, which is very appropriate for Wishcache because it can learn Earthquake. While Wishcache does have only one weakness, which is grass, Wishcache stands as my favorite water ground type from the 3rd generation, but an all around my 2nd favorite of its kind to date. Up next is that sheet that some people like me think of it as a tie-in to the book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Ampharos. Ampharos remains as my personal favorite electric type from the 2nd generation. Back in the day playing Gold and Silver, people have always used this thing in battle, and for good reasons. While it's not the fastest electric type, its special attack makes up for its lack of speed, which can reach a maximum of 361. But in its Mega form, that power is buffed up dramatically. In that form, its special attack can reach a maximum of 471, the highest out of all electric types. Ampharos might be my all-time favorite electric type from the 2nd generation. It only holds my 2nd favorite pure electric type to date. So, what do you get when you combine a bull, steroids, and crack? Okay, maybe not crack. You get Toros, one of my personal favorite pure normal types from the 1st generation. This thing doesn't evolve, but it really doesn't need to. Its stats are some of the best stats I've seen from the 1st generation. Its greatest stat, believe it or not, is not attack. Instead, it's speed, which can reach a maximum of 350. That sounds about right. One of the main reasons why I love Toros so much is mostly due to what it's based on. It may be based off of a bull, but there's something specific about it. It's based on one of the oldest constellations dating back to the early Bronze Age. More specifically, the Toros. This constellation has the appearance of the bull. Sounds about right. Toros is my personal favorite pure normal type from the 1st generation, but an all around my 3rd favorite pure normal type to date. Speeding through the depths of the ocean, we have Sharpedo. My god, this thing is what many people depict as the bully of the sea, and for a very good reason. First off, this water dark type has some of the highest attack stat out of most water types, which can reach a maximum of 372. Not bad to say the least. But all of that changed when Gen 6 came along and Mega evolved it. This thing gets even faster and stronger in terms of attack wise. In that form, its attack can reach a maximum of 416. Hell, its speed can even get as high as 339. My god, that is some deadly stat arrangements. Mega Sharpedo looks like a saw shark, one of the deadliest creatures in the ocean with its long saw-like teeth in the front. I mean, just look at this thing. Kinda fits the bill, doesn't it? Don't ever piss off this brutal Pokemon, or this bully will give you a wedgie so hard, you will feel it for weeks. And trust me, you don't want that. Remember earlier that I love unique type combinations? Well, Mamoswine shows off more of my point. Mamoswine and its pre-evolutions are the only ice ground types to date. Sure, they have a major weakness to all the starters, but they do hold an immunity to electricity, which is not bad. Personally, I think people have been underestimating Mamoswine a lot because of that. I used one myself, and it was great. To get one, you need a Piloswine level up while it knows the move Ancient Power. As its appearance may apply, Mamoswine is based off the woolly mammoth, a gigantic elephant that went into extinction thousands of years ago. This ties into multiple Pokédex entries that depict on how these mammoths went into extinction. Mamoswine is an awesome icing and ground type Pokemon that I would recommend in any game. Oh god, it's Yveltal. Now we are screwed. Being the poster boy for Y and being the main antagonist in the 17th movie, Deontay and the Cocoon of Destruction, this thing is the true bringer of destruction. Yveltal has one of the most ridiculous concepts that I've ever seen. This thing has the ability to absorb the living energy in its surroundings. With its signature ability Dark Aura, which powers up dark type moves, and its signature move Oblivion Wing, this thing is terrifying. Speaking of which, Oblivion Wing is one of the most terrifying moves I have ever seen. If it hits you, it will drain half the damage dealt. But what's even worse than that is this. It also has the potential of either withering its victims or turning them into stone. If that doesn't shout out nightmare fuel, I don't know what will. But man, no wonder why this movie is one of my least favorites. First time I saw this, I quivered in fear. Yveltal is very powerful, dangerous, and a vicious monster I fell in love with the moment I saw it. Up next is one of the very first Gen 6 Pokemon introduced, Noivern. Noivern is awesome, and it was my very first Dragon type I used in my playthrough of X. This thing is the fastest out of all dragons, which can reach a maximum of 379. And guess what? That's faster than Latios. Noivern won this spot mostly because of that, and the Noivern in the anime under the command of Alexa. This thing is a brute and loves to show off its brash nature. When I first saw Noivern, I literally said, "The hell is that?" out loud. Sure, it got me into some trouble, but totally worth it. Noivern is an awesome flying dragon type, but it's only my third favorite of its kind. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Up next is one of the first Pokemon introduced in the 4th generation, Lucario. This thing is said to use its ability to sense the aura around it and track any enemies around it. That is something that I wish I could do in the real world. Lucario is a mixed attacker and it's very fast. Its greatest stat is special attack, which can reach a maximum of 361. But that's only in its normal form. Its mega form, however, makes it more of a physical sweeper, but it does slow it down a little bit. Its attack stat in that form reaches a maximum of 427. Whoa, let's not get this thing angry. Lucario is said to be based off the Egyptian Lord of the Dead, Anubis. whose head takes on the appearance of an African wolf. Damn! No wonder Lucario can sense auras surrounding life forms, because Anubis is known for doing something like that as well. Lucario is an awesome Pokemon for any team and for sweeping. Let's end off the first half with my personal favorite Gen 3 starter, Blaziken. This thing, like Lucario, is a great mixed attacker with a killer move pool. Pretty much anything you give it, it will do great with it. This thing is so good in fact that, like previously named Garchomp, Blaziken is the only starter to be banned from tournaments. This is mostly because of its hidden ability, Speed Boost. Speed Boost is an ability that increases the speed of a Pokemon by 1 level at the end of every turn. With stats like that, as well as its Mega Form, it's easy to see why that is. Speaking of which, Blaziken is the first Pokemon to show off its Mega Form in the anime, and the first out of all the Gen 3 starters. Next time you play any Pokemon game with Blaziken in it, show off your awesome support and eat some KFC hot wings! Thanks for watching. All the contents and clips that were used to make this video are all owned by their respective owners, so please support the official release. If you're liking the list so far, then please consider giving it a like. Add it to your favorites, or share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, or anywhere. And if you want to see some more of my Pokemon homework for 2016, then please subscribe today for a Pokemon Let's Play update daily as often as possible, and a Top X video as weekly as possible. Thanks again everyone, and as always, I will see you guys next time in my next Pokemon video coming soon.